Hello everyone. Mars will move into Aquarius on the 8th of April, but he will soon be followed into that sign by Shani. And this transit continues right up until the 17th of May 22. What will this mean for you? Is it good or bad according to your moon and ascendant? I have all the details on the video. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. And if the video is good for you, give it a thumbs up. Let's begin. On April the 8th then, let's look at the astrology. Mars has entered into Aquarius, a sign he's not happy in because it's actually ruled by his two great enemies, Shani and Rahu. Mars in Aquarius then can normally do one of two things. First of all, he can give up on a path of action, on a goal, and change completely around to do something totally different. Other than this, he can act out erratically and unethically to achieve his aims. So everybody's behavior actually becomes influenced by the sign in which Mars is, because Mars is action, how we achieve our goals. So in this Mars Aquarius transit, expect people around you to behave erratically, differently, in strange ways basically, and unexpected ways. Just make sure that you remain ethical, because it's the unethical action that can have fast consequences with this Mars in Aquarius. It's a highly karmic sign. But what makes this particular transit of Mars in Aquarius different and even more unstable is the fact that the other major grahas, planets, are moving signs in a dramatic way during this transit. Rahu is moving on the 13th of April backwards into the volatile sign of Aries, and he is a dispositor of this transit. In addition, Jupiter will go into his own sign a day later, the 14th of April, when he moves into Pisces. And very importantly, Shani, the co-dispositor of this transit, will come into his own sign of Aquarius on the 30th of April. From April the 30th then, it becomes the most difficult part of the transit, because Shani, coming into the same sign as Mars, will attempt to stamp his authority on Mars. He's in his office, his Multricone sign. Saturn, therefore, is literally, metaphorically, sitting at his desk now with the ledger book in front of him. What is in Saturn's ledger book? The deeds, the karmas. That is his job, to reward and to punish those karmas. So Mars feels very tense to have Saturn on his heel in this sign of Aquarius. And Rahu can definitely take over everybody's mind very swiftly at this time. So most important, as I say, to stay ethical. Think about your actions at this time. It's really important. In summary then, it's a somewhat tense transit of Mars into Aquarius this time, with so much instability with the other grahas and an eclipse on the exact moment that Saturn enters Aquarius. It's difficult to see the future clearly because of so many shifting factors. That's why it's so important to find time to yourself and not to let yourself be thrown by sudden events at this time. Let's read now for all the signs. Don't forget, we are reading from the Vedic or sidereal moon and ascendant sign both to get the deepest interpretation. Let's go. Aries moon, Aries Lagna. More than any other sign, I would say your life is shifting on a pin, and it's going to be dramatic, but a new beginning is coming for you. Mars, your Lord, has gone into the very favorable house, the 11th house, for this transit. At the same time, an eclipse, a solar eclipse, is happening in your sign at the end of April. If that's not enough, it's the beginning of the Rahu first house transit phase. Again, see my video about Rahu transit up until 23. So that a whole new phase of your life is beginning under the power of Mars and Rahu. It's going to be dramatic. You see, Mars is your 8th lord as well as your 1st lord. So whenever he acts dramatically, he acts in a way that is cutting out some element of the past, but transforming you, renewing you. So Aries, when he's in the 11th house, he will bring new income to you. Wages go up, job opportunities come, and interviews are successful. You are able to push open the doors that you couldn't push open before. Go with this energy. Do not hold back. What you are looking for is an area of more freedom to do what you want to do, to be truly yourself. So it's very, very favorable for your long-term income and your long-term security. Fourth aspect of Mars onto the 2nd house shows it in all financial situations, whether it's a new job opportunity, a new business enterprise, whatever it is, it will give you long-term profit as well. So it's a long haul now, starting in a brand new way. Go with this. Your financial problems are really going to be sorted. All of your debts will be finally under control as well. Family members, you need to confront them, talk to them openly and honestly at this time, and watch your diet. You are eating impulsively because of all the changes going on around you. The 7th aspect of Mars onto the 5th house may show that you have problems with your children now. Childbirth may be sudden or unexpected in some cases, but everything will be fine. Mars is so powerful for your good in this house. And if you are in education, you will do one of two things. You will either give up the course completely, or you will absolutely give 100% and get outstanding results. Mars aspect to the 6th house will improve your health. How? Because he will bring sudden unexpected illness, sudden unexpected factors which you have to deal with. But knowing about them, you will deal with them so swiftly that you will completely get rid of them. And so this power of Mars will improve your health long term. You may have confrontations with your work colleagues, competitors, etc. But once again, you are the winner in all of these situations. If you have pets, small animals, Mars aspect may bring sudden unexpected factors into their life as well. But once again, swift action wins the day. For Taurus, Moon and Lagna, there's no slacking in your job. With Mars in the 10th house, you're working full on in many spheres of your life. You've got so much to do, you have no time to spare at all. And actually, all of this hard work will definitely pay off with monetary gain, especially after Mars goes into your 11th house in the middle of May. There will, however, be many unexpected factors coming up in your work situation, in your career. Curveballs will definitely come your way when Mars, Lord of your 7th and your 12th, goes into the 10th house of your chart. But all the agitation around you shouldn't bother you really, because Mars will give you focus in this house. And as long as you stay independent, minding your own business, don't get into quarrels with the boss, definitely, you'll be fine. The 4th aspect of Mars to the 1st house makes you want to get to grips with your fitness. You may be going to the gym more, you may be working out, you may be doing something that will increase fitness, and this will be definitely beneficial. You are very assertive, no nonsense during this whole transit. 7th aspect to the 4th house and to the 5th house indicates that education may be not satisfactory for you now. You may need to cut back on some education course or change it completely. Otherwise, you're just giving yourself too much that you just are not really interested in. So focus on the education that you enjoy. That is where you will get the greatest benefit. There may be issues in your domestic life that need immediate seeing to, but guess what? Mars will give you the power to sort this. Mars rules property. Some of you may be buying property, selling property, sorting out property issues. And if you do this swiftly, it will be fine. Don't forget, after 30th of April, all of these matters become more challenging because Saturn has gone into the 10th house of your chart. 8th aspect of Mars onto the 5th house may give unexpected difficulties for your children if you should have them, accidents, etc. But once again, swift action will sort this out immediately. This is a house of speculation, and so please be careful now. Don't take speculative gain at this time because Mars rules your house of loss, and aspecting this house, he will actually cause sudden loss through speculation. So be really careful about that. For Gemini, Moon and Lagna, Mars is the Lord of your 11th but also your 6th house. Always gets you into some form of confrontation. He's going into the 9th house of your chart. This can affect relationship with your father, also father's family. And definitely if you are in education, you get into some really difficult situations during this next 6 weeks. Don't get into quarrels with your lecturers, teachers, colleagues even, students, fellow students, because you won't help yourself move forward on the course. On the other hand, you can put tremendous energy into studying higher education at this time, which will pay off very profitably for you. Most of you have some contact with a learning experience during this next 6 weeks. Any form of education or skill-based training is excellent. There may be problems though with gurus even, or people who mentor you. They may be acting erratically in strange ways, and this can affect you in a very personal way. Mars in the 9th house of foreign lands and aspecting 12th house of foreign travel, and the 3rd house, you'll probably be traveling some way in some sort of foreign or local travel, at least during this period. Travel is actually good for you, but it won't be smooth. Mars makes unexpected factors on the journey. Don't be afraid of this. You enjoy being on the move and you are seldom upset by these factors. Mars also indicates here communication with people from foreign lands which can benefit you in some way. Mars aspect of the 12th house shows that your sleep pattern undergoes a great change in these next 6 weeks and your dreams become especially vivid and perhaps even prophetic. Because Mars here can make you a little bit on edge, the aspect to the 3rd house shows difficult communications with your siblings, close family, even neighbours. Try not to get into confrontations if you can help it. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is always challenging, and on the 4th house, a mother may have some illness or some problems during these next few weeks, and you may have unexpected domestic home issues to deal with. If you are thinking of buying property, selling property, this can really become difficult during this time because unexpected factors crop up and you have to change things completely or give a major delay to this deal. But if you are undertaking home improvements or property improvements, this will be excellent for you because Mars gives you the power of transformation onto your 4th house. But there will be extra expenses because of Mars aspect, as I say, to the 12th house of expense. Mars is your 10th house lord and your 5th house lord if you have Cancer, Lagna or Moon. And going into the 8th house, he demands change in your life. Sometimes sudden illness, sudden deaths come up that you didn't know existed. Something happens that makes you stand still and think that you've got to shift everything in your life to deal with a sudden event. But Mars is a powerful planet, a friend to your Lord the Moon. So this shifting, this transformation is necessary and actually good for you. Whatever the curveballs come your way, Cancer, Moon or Lagna by Mars in the 8th house, it will empower you to make changes you've been wanting to do actually for some time. So conversely, even though there are sudden events, changes financially, business-wise, illnesses, difficulties in your friendship network circle shown by the 4th house aspect of Mars, difficulties with your siblings by the 8th house and in your family circle. So many difficulties during this next 6 weeks and you just become more and more powerful, more and more in control of the whole situation. Because Mars is the lord of your 5th house of education, going into the 8th house, you feel a little bit out of tune with your education course. There are sudden changes to the course, a few curveballs there as well, which throw you, but stick with this. Mars aspecting the 11th house of future gain shows that if you stick with some of the difficult factors now, future gains are guaranteed. Do remember though, Mars benefits certain areas such as the occult study, mystical subjects, astrology, etc. by this position. You can make amazing progress in this. Research of all sorts is definitely benefited here. Medical research, especially scientific research. Any research study area you are doing, you will get great insights and you will make enormous progress with the power of Mars behind you. Expect some financial curveballs, as I say as well, because Mars in this house of joint finance with your spouse or business partnerships or family finance, wills, legacies, all of these things come up now and are a little bit shocking and even frightening to you. But don't be, because you're going to benefit if you can keep your cool in all of these changes. You're a very good money manager, Cancer. So take changes that are needed to be made now and you will transform your whole financial situation for the better. Even sudden opportunities for gain come to you because of Mars aspect to the 11th house. Even if you can't act on them now, in the very near future, you'll be able to do so. For Leo Moon, Leo Lagna, Mars is your Atmakarika planet. He's a favorable planet for you, but now he's transiting in Aquarius in your 7th house, where he becomes in a very weakened state. This can weaken your energy level during the next 6 weeks. Conserve energy. Fatigue, overtiredness, all of these things will be very typically felt by Leo people during the next few weeks. This will be quite a drain on you actually, because you're such an active person. Mars in this house puts the ball into your opponents, into your business partner's hands, into your partner's hands, and into everybody but yourself. You are reacting continually to other people's problems. Wife or husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever is your partner may have illness, accidents also sometimes during this period. Business situations become a little bit haywire with this Mars here. Mars can show marketplace competitors coming to just strip you of your assets virtually. Unexpected curveballs coming your way in all business situations. Don't get too agitated. Wait it out and see how it goes, because Mars does not empower you to stand up to this situation just yet. Watch and wait is the best thing in all difficult business situations right now. If you are employed, the changes taking place in your workplace are irritating you, causing you anxiety. But be very careful not to get into difficult confrontations with your work colleagues by this fourth aspect of Mars. It won't help you, and especially don't get into confrontations with superiors or the boss. There's quite a lot of pressure on Leos also because Mars aspects the second house of your chart, your security itself. Don't make too many financial changes now. Big changes financially now don't work out so well. Just try to secure what you have. Finally, though, Mars aspect to the first house will give you the power to make health better through your own swift action now. Mars here aspecting first house can show that you need a whole new physical regime. You're not in a very fit state physically and you need to improve it. The aspect of Mars to the second house, eighth aspect, shows a complete transformation of your diet can be very helpful at this time. Virgo Moon, Virgo Lagna, you've been waiting for this transit for some time. Mars in your sixth house is a powerhouse of energy to you to sort out so many loose ends in your life. First of all, you deal with competitors, legal issues, conflicts with your work colleagues are sorted out in your favor. You get on with the task at hand, something which you love to do now, and all of the obstacles disappear in front of you. Job interviews go well and you always win over any competitor at this time. You show your expertise and others are impressed by it. And monetary gain, financial reward definitely comes from this Mars sixth house transit for Virgo. If you are a student, Mars in the sixth gives you tremendous focus and application. You work twice as hard, but all the loose ends of the course come together. Mars aspecting 9th and 12th house shows that you get enormous benefit from your studies. You are highly organized and you will get the very best results. If you are looking into any religious or spiritual system, also Mars aspect to the 9th, 12th house gives you inner peace now. You are able to get inner faith, which improves your whole health and mental state at this time. Mars aspecting 9th and 12th can even find you traveling to foreign land at this time or having contact with people far away. All of this benefits you. Experts and mentors and guides help you tremendously, and particularly with your health. Mars here will definitely benefit your health and well-being tremendously. With the aspect to the first house, he will invigorate you. Long-standing health problems get cures now. A healing journey begins. Insight from experts, mentors come to you, and you finally know what you have to do. You put energy into your own health and fitness, and it benefits you tremendously. So go with this. Don't stint in any new regime. It will help you tremendously. Libra Moon, Libra Lagna. Mars in the fifth house is a little bit of a troubling aspect for you because Mars is not happy in these Tricone houses. He is the ruler of your seventh house but also your second house. So he brings struggles, difficulties into your life. But in this case, it's coming into the lives of your children who may have health problems now, and even of your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, who may also be struggling at this time. If you are in any business situation as well, or in any self-employment, Mars' fourth aspect onto the eighth house shows that sudden changes in this business are really throwing you for six now, because Mars aspecting both this house and the house of gains and the house of expenses shows that your income and your outgoing are not balancing the way you would like them to. Be careful about speculation or any monetary risk factors now, especially in investments, stock market, because Mars has a fourth aspect onto the 8th house. Mars is in the sign of Aquarius. I've just been talking about how he's under the influence of Rahu. Keep everything above board. Avoid unethical monetary dealings, and speculation definitely won't help now. Even if you should get sudden gain, it will be as suddenly lost because of Mars's aspect onto the 12th house of loss. So a lot of monetary stress is definitely coming your way, and your partner may have illness or difficulty further burdening you at this time. You do get help though from your friendship network circles, so look to them most definitely. The aspect of Mars to the 12th house, though, may take some of you on some foreign journeys, unexpectedly, completely spur of the moment. That can happen. Or dealings with people from foreign shores could actually give you inspiration and help in your difficult financial situation. But most of all, you need to find some peace and quiet alone in this stressful transit. The 8th aspect of Mars, though, to the 12th house shows that you have to find a way to deal with extraordinary expenses now. Cutting back on so many factors of your life to the bare minimum will actually benefit you because you're not able to find creative solutions just yet, but you will do. Spiritually, you will also benefit from retreat, yoga practice, having time on your own. Meditation will definitely help you. You need to calm your mind because you get so easily upset by other people's problems, taking on other people's burdens. Try to find balance in your life. That's what your sign is all about. Don't forget. Scorpio, Moon and Lagna. Mars is your lord, and going into the 4th house of your chart where he's not happy to be, he means that you get some difficulties in your domestic situation and in your working life during the next few weeks. But it will only assure you of what you should be doing for your future. So changes are in store for your working life, and you may have to change your whole work-life balance. Particularly working from home becomes troublesome during this time. Now, Mars, your ruler, has a 4th aspect onto the 7th house. It is a house of business partners, but relationship, spouse also. So you could have a lot of contention during these next 6 weeks with your partner, with your business partner. And it's going to get quite heated indeed because Mars is contained in this 4th house. So it's going to get quite hot in the kitchen, as they say. What you've definitely got to do is try to calm things down. Don't put pressure onto other people. It will only make things worse. A major issue, though, is developing in relation to your job, to your career prospects, because Mars, your lord, aspecting 7th aspect to the 10th house shows that you have to change something in your home-work balance. You may have to stop working from home, look for another job, or even change domestically because of job opportunities now. There's a lot of rebalancing has to be done. Whatever you do, avoid confrontations in the workplace now. It could get very heated there also. But the 8th aspect of Mars onto the 11th house shows that your income is not satisfactory at this time, and you are definitely looking for a new job, looking for a new source of income. There may be very good opportunities now, and you should definitely take them if they become available. Finally, watch your health and even your mental health now. It's a very stressful transit, Mars in this 4th house. You may be hiding emotions, hiding feelings, and you may be even not acknowledging anger and frustration openly. Try to get in touch with this, otherwise it can just explode unexpectedly. Sagittarius, Moon and Lagna. Mars is a great friend to your Lord Jupiter. And when he's in a powerful house, like he is now for 6 weeks in the 3rd house of your chart, he gives you enormous energy, purpose, and favors you in so many ways. He opens the door to tremendous opportunities also. But most of all, he helps your health because he has a 4th aspect onto the 6th house of your chart. Mars will now give you swift solution to your health problems. Strength and vitality come to you, and new solutions to long-standing health issues also come. Mars will also invigorate you when you are confronting competitors, and enemies and those who actually may be trying to harm you, if that is the case. But mostly it's about winning out in litigation court cases now. You can face any enemy, any competitor, and completely win in this situation. It's because you are feeling happier and more certain of your cause. Mars in the third house speeds up so many communications in your life with your siblings, with your neighbors, with your far and distant cousins or people living in foreign lands, with your father definitely, and even with the boss. All of a sudden, feelings that were hidden are coming out into the open, and these conversations are extremely important. It's a very important turning point in your education. I've just spoken that Mars in Aquarius either leaves things behind and takes up something different or finds some way around a difficult situation. So Mars powered by Rahu will get you very good grades in your course. You will put tremendous effort into your higher education and into any skill-based training now, or you will just decide to up and go and to leave it all behind. Whatever you do will be what you've needed to do for some time. Mars in the third for everybody, though, is excellent for communication, for writing, for presentations, anything where you have to communicate with people far and wide. Mars gives you the skill to be very successful with these things at this time. Mars in the third always increases travel, coming and goings in your life, and especially aspect to the ninth house, foreign travel may be on the cards for some of you. But the aspect of Mars to the 10th house shows unexpected factors in your career situation. Don't be afraid of these. You may be a little bit anxious about them to begin with, but I promise you they will have definite silver lining. Capricorn, Moon and Lagna. Mars is the lord of your 4th house of happiness and home and your 11th house of gain. Going into the 2nd house, he shows that your security and your happiness depend now so much on the domestic situation, but that unrest there is going to be disturbing to you. You may have a very difficult time balancing the books now. Financial decisions have to be made and they will not be easy. This is also the house of food and food intake. Mars in this house makes you all of a sudden want to be disciplined about your food intake or to change your diet. But diet starting now or change in your eating habits don't go easily because Mars is an agitating factor in Aquarius, particularly, and unexpected things come up. So try to keep equilibrium with your eating behavior at this time. There may be illness and disturbance in your family circle or even with your children because Mars has aspect onto the 5th house of children. And there may be a great deal of difficulty dealing with family members now over financial issues. So you're feeling quite burdened by so many problems suddenly cropping up that were not there before. If you are in any business situation, it's a very important time because the aspect of Mars to the 8th house of business partnerships, business decisions, something has to change. Now you have to make a very important decision and it cannot be put off in any way. Take advice though. This is absolutely crucial because Mars has an 8th aspect onto the 9th house of advisors. You need advice before any major financial decision is made in this period. Now, the aspect of Mars onto the 5th house could tempt some of you into speculative gain or even stock market because Mars aspects the houses of both of these factors. It could work out for you, but you must have advice shown by Mars aspect to the 9th house. Because Mars is in the sign of Rahu, there could be illusion about possible profit, so take every caution. Students among you start to feel very insecure on the course by the 4th aspect of Mars onto the 5th house of education and the 8th aspect onto the higher education house. You feel like just chucking it all in and doing something else with your life, but you know that you can't. So put yourself in a quiet situation. Mars aspecting the 8th house shows that peace and quiet and study, reflection, research go very well when you focus your mind during this time. What's your food and drink intake? Mars can give addictions in this 2nd house. It makes you feel insecure, and this is why these problems can occur. So take moderation in all things during this transit. Aquarius, Moon and Lagna. Mars goes into the 1st house of your chart. Now this has a slightly different effect according to Moon or Ascendant. From Ascendant, it's an empowering factor that should go well for you. But from your Moon sign, it's much more difficult. If you have the moon in Aquarius, your moon, that means your mind and your emotions are already under the influence of Rahu and Shani, so you frequently go through very dramatic changes in your mood. And Mars here will just agitate that even more so. You go up and down constantly in this period, feeling really agitated and ill at ease. So take some time to yourself, definitely, if you have the moon in Aquarius in the next 6 weeks. Now, the first house rules health, so Mars in this house will impact the health from moon and ascendant. From the moon, though, because your mind becomes agitated, it can cause accidents and mishaps. Even more reason to stay calm and quiet as much as you can. But from ascendant, Mars here invigorates your body and can make you feel much more healthy and revitalized. Now, Mars has a fourth aspect onto the fourth house of the chart. So for everybody, moon and ascendant, because Mars rules property, aspecting the house and the home, you can expect that you will be selling property, buying property, moving home, renovating the home. Some changes in your home environment are definitely taking place. Now, because Mars is now under the influence of Rahu and Shani, though, delays will be there or sudden unexpected deals come. So what you have to do is be ready for these and look at all paperwork very, very carefully. Generally, though, it could be favorable for this, especially once again from ascendant. But many of you have to make necessary changes in your domestic life, and you need to go with the flow of these as much as you can. But Mars' seventh aspect onto the house of relationships is a little bit disturbing now. From both moon and ascendant, partners may be having health issues, problems, and you are called to help them. And most importantly, business partnerships are becoming contentious now. Marketplace changes make you feel unstable. And the aspect to the eighth house of joint finances and business partnerships mean that real disruption can occur in all of these areas. So quite a lot of quarrels and contention with your spouse, even with your close friends, and sometimes even with your family members. And maybe mother also is having disturbance, and this impacts you. There's quite a lot of emotional confrontation going on. As much as you can, focus on the needy, on your home life changes, and on your business affairs, and avoid confrontations during the next 6 weeks. But the eighth aspect of Mars on the eighth house can be favorable. You can transform your whole financial situation during the next 8 weeks, many of you, both from moon and ascendant. You can transform your savings, stock market deals, investments, and even wills and legacies can work out in your favor during this transit. For Pisces, Moon and Lagna, Mars in the 12th house is in a strange situation for you because he's actually in the house naturally ruled by Pisces. So in some way he gives you a boost during this period, even though situations can develop which are a little difficult to deal with. But in this house, Mars is a bit of an energy drain, actually. He drains away some of your vitality and also your finances because he is your second house lord. There can be many expenses, even expenses you are not even thinking about. Put a stop to them now. You're just letting things go financially, and long term, it's going to be more difficult for you. Avoid too much worrying and fear also during this transit, and your sleep life also can become disturbed again because of these factors. But Mars here has one very positive aspect. It's great for study. It's great for metaphysical occult study. You get amazing insights into all of these subjects during this period, and it can be very good for your spiritual life as well, renewing inner faith, which is always important for Pisces. Mars in the 12th also keeps a lot of your feelings and fears to yourself. So you may have problems, issues with your siblings, with your neighbors, with your colleagues at work as well because of the aspect to this 6th house, but you don't want to talk about them openly. Even conflicts with your spouse, you'll be very cautious about expressing your real feelings at this time. You don't want to make things more troublesome, but actually you need to be expressive. Otherwise, it can cause you health problems. So come out with your difficulties and share them with your siblings, neighbors, work colleagues, spouse, and actually you will probably find that a lot of your worries and concerns are completely out of proportion to the actual situation. If you are a student, it's quite a good time because Mars aspecting third house can give power to your communication, presentation skills, and your writing skills, which will definitely help you in your studies. You may have health problems coming up which have been gone for some time, but once again, Mars aspecting 6th house will help you to overcome them. Take advice of consultants. Mars has 8th aspect on the house of consultation, so new health consultation will help many of you during this transit. Mars rules your 9th house of foreign lands, and going into the 12th house, he can actually give you a lot of connections to people from distant lands who will be very favorable to you, especially in the long term. Right now, though, even new business opportunities come to you in far distant shores. Take it easy, though, because Mars has an 8th aspect onto the 7th house of business. Don't make any commitments now, just suss out the possibilities. Check out the transit of Rahu and Ketu into Aries and Libra. It's on your screen right now. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now and God bless everyone.